I've been in the field of adult basic education for 20 years. Before that, I was in the field of TV news in Boston at 3 different stations. And actually, as you just mentioned, you taught at Emerson College for a couple of years, broadcast journalism. But actually, I started as a volunteer, an immigrant woman at her workplace. It was a class at her work site. And the class would end, and she would stay for another hour during her lunchtime, and I would come in and tutor her in English. She was a Chinese woman from Hong Kong. And that was my real introduction to the field of adult basic education. And then I got a part-time job while I was still working in TV full-time. And then after almost 19 years in TV, I was getting kind of burned out and just tired of it, that I had the opportunity to go to a full-time temporary position and then to a full-time position where I was a teacher and then education director at the Asian American Civic Association in Boston's Chinatown for 17 years. And I left that position in March of 2010, and that's when I came to JVS to direct the Bridges to College program. It's an opportunity that was just too good to pass up, so we're still trying to figure it out. That's my love, the whole college transition thing is just a great field to be in. JVS is a very large, well-run organization, and it's also has very good resources. Over half of the agency's money that they raise is from private sources, which is very unusual in our field. Usually, most organizations have, maybe 80% or higher of government, city, state, federal grants, which are subject to the whims of, budget cuts and things like that, where we're, I think, 52 or maybe 54%. Privately financed, so more than half of our revenue comes from private sources, and there are efforts always underway to get more money from either individuals, corporations, foundations. So JVS is very good at raising money. There are probably between 35 and 40 of our students at Bunker Hill Community College and a few other colleges now, UMass Boston, I think Mass Bay Community College, but I know at Bunker Hill, another volunteer is one of our former students. She's a woman from Uganda. She's only been in the United States a couple of years. She was actually in the English class that I taught when I first came here back in the summer of 2010. She went to Bunker Hill in either the summer or September 2010. She's just accepted into the honors program at Bunker Hill. She has a very high GPA. She's on a nursing track. She's a young woman, so she's really just starting her life in the United States. Really hard work, a great attitude and work ethic. And when I heard that, it was great. I had an African-American woman who was probably about 57 or 58 when she was in our class in the summer of 2010, finish and then kind of just disappear. We didn't quite know what happened to her. She was working as like a CNA or something like that in a nursing home. And was very motivated, to do something for herself. And she came in one day in January with her college registration form and said, I'm going to college. And she started in January and is doing well. I've seen her a couple of times since then. So that's a wonderful success story for somebody going back later in life for a better opportunity to move up in her organization or in her field. Just to see people be successful is what is the high that I get every day. I mean, to see people tell us, I have a 3.9 GPA, or, I'm really doing well in my classes, or I'm going to graduate next year, graduating every June, and hopefully going into decent jobs that they can support themselves and their family. And they know they got a lot from JVS and from our program specifically if they Bridges to College students. So that's the payback that we get for doing our job well, that we see people really make a change in their lives. A friend of mine said, who works in the same field as adult basic education, we're in the life-changing business, so that's a big part of who we are and what we do, and that's what a lot of us get our satisfaction from, of just reconnecting with someone, staying in touch with someone over time and seeing them move up the ladder toward a degree and into a better job and a better life.